All right. So, all right. So there's two main points of booking or getting recommendations. There's some little things that go into each of them. Starting with rapport. Before you can average a high number of recommendations for demo, you have to learn about your customer. And so the easiest way to do that is connecting with your customer. And to do that, you got to ask the right questions. On the back, there's a handout that it's got a bunch of different questions you can ask. Makes it really easy to connect with these people. What you want to do is you want to get 5 questions deep. You find a topic that you understand or that you can relate to. You ask them 5 questions about it, like so you can really get into conversation with them about it. But you want to ask open-ended questions. You don't want to ask yes or no questions. Asking yes or no questions in the conversation. So you want to ask questions until you really relate and you can discuss with them. My favorite thing to do right when I walk into an appointment is go, Mrs. Jones, tell me about yourself. Every single time they respond with, what do you want to know? I'm a boring person. So that's when you say something along the lines, no, tell me about yourself. What do you think is important for people to know? Once you respond with that and actually seem interested, that's when they're going to open up and be like, okay, everybody likes talking about themselves. And if you don't, you're weird. Like moms absolutely love talking about themselves, their families, their kids, their friends. So you got to get them to open up. And whenever you do that, when you ask your questions, seek to understand versus just seeking to be understood. You don't want to talk about yourself until they ask questions. You want to just sit there and listen and listen and listen. And you want to actually pay attention. You want to listen attentively because it's going to allow you to ask better questions, respond accordingly. Next, one of the questions you want to ask, you want to find out what they do for fun. It's going to directly impact how many recs you get at the end, because if you know what they do for fun, who they hang out with and stuff, and at the end they go, oh, I don't know anyone, I'm sorry. Really, Ms. Jones, what about all those people you said you have book club with, or that you play tennis with, or you work out with, or you walk the dogs with? One, it'll make them kind of feel obligated to give those people to you because you called them out for lying to you, because you want them to, one, be comfortable, and in order to get them comfortable, you want to build good rapport. But you also want to know, you want to have that as like a backup in case they do say, hey, I don't know anyone. So find out what they do for fun, what groups are they a part of, who they hang out with, what are their hobbies. So finding out what they like to do for fun, people like talking about it. Like, I like doing music festivals. I love talking about music festivals. Same with Mrs. Jones, same with Mr. Jones. Anything that they like doing or their family likes doing, they'll talk about it if you ask about it. Next part of building rapport, really like huge, is sharing your goals properly. So one, you got to figure out why you go after your goals. You got to figure out your own goals and really believe in them and really like focus on them so you can explain them well. So why do we go after our goals? Self-actualization is a big thing for me. And almost anybody else, they set goals that validate themselves. So one of those things is going to be growth. So personal growth for me, a lot of people focus on like monetary growth or like relationship growth, stuff like that. Self-actualization helps you discover who you really are. And so if you can explain who you really are and why you want these things, it'll really, really help you show these people, and they'll really want to connect with you even more. Next is lifestyle creation. You want to set goals that you're not going to give up on. Like, these are going to be the ones that you really, really, really are willing to do just about anything for. So these are different types of goals. You have your self-actualization, lifestyle creation, and then third is going to be the ones that contribute to others. So growth and contribution. For me, I put together a fundraiser that 5% of my commissions every week go to. I met a family and kind of just fell in love with them and wanted to help them out. So that's one of my goals, actually, to raise over $5,000 for this family. Another thing is generational value. You want to contribute to the generations below you. So your family, people save up to like retirement funds and college funds, stuff like that, that's going to benefit their family later on. Same thing with Ms. Jones, same thing with us. We need to have things that aren't just goals for ourselves, but goals for the people that we impact. So there's 4 steps to actually sharing your goals. And shout out to Mike Lanzetta, because this is straight out of his thought. So first, you got to paint the vision for the customer. Always ask for permission if you can share your goals. So, hey, Ms. Jones, do you mind if I share a couple of my goals real quick? They're not going to say no, especially if you build a good enough connection, because they're going to be interested. You listen to them, they're going to want to listen to you. So ask for permission, and then paint the end picture. What is it that you want, and like, why do you want it? If you're able to do that, then you can go into the emotional roller coaster that's going to really allow you to relate to the customer. So explaining that you know that you're not guaranteed anything, and then with that also saying, so for me, I know that I'm not guaranteed a car at the end of the summer. That was my goal for the summer. But I'm so excited to have the opportunity to really go out and work for this car. And I'm scared because I know that it's going to take so much hard work, but it's something that I'm so committed to that I'm willing to do absolutely anything and work my tail off to make sure that I do get a car that works, and that I can show myself a new side of me, a new work ethic that I've never seen in myself. So on the bullets, it goes, not guaranteed anything, so excited, blank, scared because blank. So that should be the way that you explain the emotional roller coaster. Really get them on a high point when you're saying, I'm so excited because, and then let them know that you're also scared and you're vulnerable to them. And then the next part is the commitment part. So you can see it says, even though I'm not guaranteed my goals, I'm fully committed to work as hard as I possibly can. Even if I don't reach my goals, I know that I worked as hard as I possibly could, and I will see incredible growth in myself. The biggest thing about sharing your goals is you want to inspire them. If they're inspired, it's going to open up more of themselves where they're going to be like, oh, wow, like, can I share my goals? I've had plenty of customers share their goals with me, and like, they were incredible. It was things that inspired me even more. So if you inspire them, they're going to want to help, and 2, they're going to want to keep in touch with you. I've built really good relationships with a lot of my customers. I still text them and talk to them on a weekly basis. And then lastly, sharing your goals, you want to ask. So asking for them their goals. So if you connect with them well enough, you can ask, so Ms. Jones, what are some of your goals? Are there anything that you're scared of that you want? So kind of going along the same lines, you want them to paint the picture for you and see why they're excited, what they're scared of, how hard they're willing to work, what their commitment is. And if they're inspired by you, they'll be open about it. They will be excited to share that with you. And then you got to transition to the demo. So I do all of this before I even show my blue book. I pull out my goal sheet whenever I'm doing the building report process. Spend about 30 minutes on this. My demos go about 2 hours. I spend the first 30 minutes not even talking about Cutco. But then next is the transition to the demo. So like I said, you don't have to buy anything. I just appreciate your time. But if you do see anything you like and you can fit into your budget, I do hope you choose to go for it now, because it would really help me reach my goals. If you share your goals well enough and then you drop that line on them, you're like, oh, now I'm really going to look for something that I want to buy just so I can help this kid out. Does that make sense? So next, asking for recommendations. You got to have your rec approach memorized and perfected. The key to this business is repetition. JD can attest to that. He's pretty darn good at this job. But I've watched this kid just sit there and read stuff out loud and get really pumped up and really just excited. And same thing with recommendations. If you have it memorized and you're excited about it and confident in asking, it's just like closing an order. If you're confident in closing the order, people are going to be more likely to buy. If you're confident in asking for recs and you connected with them, shared your goals well, they're going to want to introduce you to all their friends. It's like if you go to a good movie, you want to tell all your friends, you want to be the highlight of these people's days, just like a movie would. So page 16, there's 3 bullets that you have to have memorized. And it goes, I do get paid every time I get to show Cutco, but I can only show it to people I've been personally recommended to. So what I need you to do while I'm cleaning up this mess is jot down 200 to 300 people who might be nice enough to help me out. Now, I'm just kidding. 20 to 30 would be perfect. I'm not looking for anybody you think that's going to buy, just nice people like you willing to take a look, and then smile. So once you do that, go, yeah, can I use your sink? Take your time. Be slow. If you're working, they're going to be working.
This is huge.
So for me, I literally will sit there and clean the knives like 3 or 4 times. Like pretend that I'm even doing anything. Just to make it so they keep working. Every couple minutes, look back, see if they're slowing down. Once they start slowing down, I'll set stuff down, not put it away. I'll set stuff down, walk over to them, and then explain the sponsorship program. So it's giving them reasons why they should give you more. So, hey, Ms. Jones, your friend Sally gave me 30 names. Think you could beat that? She became a triple sponsor. Friends like to compete with each other, even though, like, one, they like doing the same thing that their friend does, but a lot of times we're self-conscious enough where we actually kind of want to beat our friends in just about everything. And I found that out when I had a lady go, hey, what did Caroline buy? And I was like, oh, she bought a custom homemaker. I like pointed out, and she goes, all right, what's one thing bigger than that? I showed him the signature with steak. He goes, all right, I'll take it. Just to beat her friend, which I was really surprised by, but it was cool. And same thing with recs. If you can, whenever you have your rec binder, you want to show them their friends, whoever recommended you to them, they're gonna feel obligated to do at least as many as their friends did. So, and then, yeah, explain the sponsorship program. If you can explain it well, for every 10, you get a sponsor. Every 20, double sponsor, 3 or 30, triple sponsor. But once they get to 30 or above, start to incentivize. Offer free Cutco for more names. If they're close to that 30, if they're at like 26, 27, hey, Ms. Jones, you read the bottom of that page, it says, ask me about how you want a free peeler. I actually have it crossed out and have gadget. I'm willing to give a gadget, not just a peeler away, if they give me 30. So Ms. Jones, if you get to 30 names, not only will you join my favorite customers list, but I'll also give you a free gadget as a thank you for helping me out. People love free stuff. They're willing to do stuff for free stuff. And then I also have, if there's ever someone that gets to 30 and there was a knife that they just couldn't afford, hey, Ms. Jones, if you get down to 60, because I know you're a super fun person, I've really enjoyed my time with you. If you get down to 60 people, I'll give you that knife that you really wanted for free. And I've had 3 different people give me 60 names just because of that. Once you get down to that, like they're completely done, that's when you're gonna take it from them and say thank you so much, and you're gonna slide it back to them and say, all right, now who do you know that? You're gonna start reading out your thought joggers. So this is something Kathy taught me the past back. It's money. It is what really transformed my recs. So physically taking the paper, appreciating it, being grateful for it, saying, all right, thank you. Now, who do you know that's not going to buy? Because there's so many people that aren't going to buy, but that they know that they don't know if they're willing to do the demo or not. So if you're able to get that to them and be confident with it, they're going to be like, okay, I can actually do more. Then you go through the thought joggers. And on here, this was actually made for a virtual demo. So you're not going to have them read out the names and numbers to you. That's only if you're writing them down yourself. Then this is where you're going to bring up the people that they said that they hung out with. So you're going to go through and ask them like, hey, what about those people you do book club with or whatever? And that's crucial, especially when they say, I don't have any friends, or I don't talk to anybody, I don't hang out with anybody, I don't know anybody who'd be willing to do this. You want them to feel comfortable enough to share those with you. And if they're not, you go, what about Susie, Ms. Jones? Didn't you say that you and her play tennis together? Like, you need to listen well enough in the beginning where you can actually bring that back up. So, I mean, kind of make them feel guilty, because like you connected with them and you really want them, you want the business, but you also want them to want to help you reach your goals. And if they feel guilty after you inspired them, then they're gonna be like, okay, I can do better. And if they feel like they can do better, they're going to. They're gonna go above and beyond for you if they feel like you're going above and beyond for yourself and for them. You're going to provide them a service. You're not going there to just sell them knives. We're selling them knives, but it's because these are the best knives on the market that are going to make their lives easier for the rest of their lives. Next, if you're enjoyable, they're going to want to share their recs with you. Like I said, like a movie, good movie you tell all your friends about. Same thing with Cutco. I've actually had several of my customers over the last 2 months have been over text. I've never met them. Just people shared my name and told them that I sell Cutco, and it's built a nice relationship with them. But the key to being enjoyable is smile as much as possible. Smile and nod anytime they're talking. Like, actually make them feel like you're present, and really try and make them laugh as much as you can. But
by the way, it sounds so simple, but I was like doing a venture research actually for business, because some of you guys know I own another business too, and I'm an entrepreneurship coach. And it was so crazy, like all the stats that just deal with just likability, you know. And the biggest thing to likability, like just a smile is like a free thing that goes such a long way. That makes people feel welcome and helps people connect. It doesn't take much effort. It doesn't cost you anything, but it makes you so much money because it boosts your likability factor so high. The more you smile, you know, and it makes people feel good. So it was wild. I was like reading some stats. I was like, holy crap. Like, I know obviously it's a helpful thing, but it's such a huge factor in why some of the most successful people get the most gigs, connections, advancement, whatever they get, is that people just want to be around them and they're likable. And there's companies that have fired and let go of people that were really good at their job, coaches that were brought in to run teams who were really great coaches and produced great results. But then no one got along with them from the place. And when they had, you know, all the team people who, you know, whatever, work in the background of everything, no one liked the coach. It wasn't he was a bad coach, he did a great job, but no one liked him. Like, we can't have everyone just not liking him. We need people that are likable and people want to be around, you know? So anyway, it's such a little thing you just mentioned that I think can easily go, oh yeah, smile. But it's such a huge factor in business. And just building relationships and building connections, building rapport and likability is that simple smile. So anyway, I was reading on that earlier today. I just thought about that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I would love to actually like read the article or whatever you're reading. But yeah, so smile, and it doesn't just mean in the demo. Smile whenever you're on the phone. It might feel weird, but the minute you start smiling on the phone, you go from like this to like this. People can feel that over the phone, the energy that you provide. So you want to mirror their energy the entire time you're with them, you're talking to them. Someone answers the phone, hi, this is Ms. Jones. Oh, hi, Ms. Jones. You want them to feel like at the end of a phone call, I want them to feel like they called me. Like, I want to be so enjoyable that they were like, wow, I'm so glad I called that person. And then their husband be like, no, he called you. You know what I mean? So smiling naturally is going to raise the pitch in your voice, and it actually allows you to enjoy yourself more, which in turn will help Ms. Jones enjoy herself. And I've mentioned it a couple times. You want to be the highlight of their day. But most important, have fun. The more fun you have, the more fun they're going to have. Just be yourself. Doesn't matter if you're this awkward little shy person. Be that awkward little shy person, because they're going to feel like you're being yourself with them. For me, I'm a really social person, so it's really easy for me to be social with these people. But I know that's not the same for everybody. But I've seen really introverted people do really well in this business just because they were themselves. But yeah, the more you have fun, the better chance you're going to get more recs. And then lastly, you want to qualify your recs. Every single rec so they give you 60 names, you're literally going to ask about every one of those people on that list. How they know them, what they do for a living. As much information as you can get on each of these people, the better, because one, whenever you call them on the phone, you have more information to talk to them about. It's an easier way to connect with them. But then after you qualify all of them, then you're going to ask for their top 5 to 10. For me, I always ask for their top 5. Hey, Ms. Jones, if I was your son, who would you introduce me to first? Top 5 people. If you had a party, who are the 5 people that you think that I should absolutely talk to? Who are the people that you absolutely think are going to buy? Like, who on here do you just know if I go over there, they'll buy the entire book? And if these people want to help you, like they should, after sharing your goals and building enough rapport, they're going to be like, oh, you got to go see this person. Like, these people will literally buy anything. I'll even call them for you, tell them you're coming. And then whenever you're qualifying them, whenever they're writing them, you should explain to them like, hey, any of these people that are available to see right now or anything like that, like you want to send them a sample text, which if you don't have it, I can send it to you. JD can send you one, but you send it to them while they're writing recs, and as they're writing the recs, they send it to each person. Like, once they write it down, go ahead and send that message. And you want them to do it for each person, because that way you're getting responses while they're writing recs, and you'll have 5 or 6 yeses out of the 10 people that they wrote down on it for like per every sponsor. And that's crucial because the more yeses you get, because they're shooting them the text, that whenever you see someone say, yes, I'll do the demo, have them call me, that's when you go, hey, do you mind calling them real quick? Or anybody that you should always have them call their top 5. Because those are the 5 people they said that were top 5 for some reason. And it's a lot more likely that they're going to answer to them as opposed to answering to you. But yeah, that is my how I go through Recs. And then if you want to if there's any questions, like specific questions y'all have or anything like that, or if y'all ever want to hear like specific questions that I ask, feel free to ask. Do we have time for Q&A?
Yeah.
Anybody got questions? Take that as a no.
All right, awesome. Good stuff. We're on pause.
Bye, you guys.